Greetings and welcome to RuralVacantLand.com, where we have easy, cheap land. Today I'd like to show you some land in Mojave County, Arizona. So if we go to Arizona, Mojave County, land for sale, and filter, we'll see which ones we got. I used to have a lot of properties in Mojave County, and they keep selling out. It's hard to keep them in stock, but right now I'd like to point out that there's a good deal of properties in Mojave County to choose from. The one I'd like to talk about today is near Lake Mead. It's the title. Asking $3,000 for this property, and I wanted to pull it up on the map. So here's a zoomed in view. It's right on E Street. There's a little dirt trail there. You pull right up to it and go for it. It looks like there's a wash that goes through this property. I don't think it's the whole property, it's just part of it. You know, if you look at the shape of this thing, it's the one end of the property. Well, bit of it and is in the wash. I think you could live on one side over here, but it's probably where it would be the most usable, in my opinion. It'd be right close towards the corner. And then what I would do is look up Jeff Luton. I should have pulled him up here before I started the video, but it's GeoffLewton. And this guy is crazy. I mean, he's crazy good crazy. I mean, he creates all kinds of permaculture designs. And I'll see if I can get some diagrams or ideas of something. Permaculture, I'll tell you what permaculture is. You know, maybe that's something like this. You know, you're studying how everything works together to create a garden and studying nature and doing stuff to get it to go. So in this, these cartoon character versions, the water flows through the property, sometimes every now and then, whatever, in a property like we're talking about, but put it to work. I mean, make it work for you. Don't just let it wash right through is the idea, because in the desert the water falls on the hill and goes down the hill and disappears. I'm trying to come up with a good explanation, but as that happens, it doesn't soak into the soil, so they create a lot of swales and berms. And I don't have a good example here, but maybe something like this. So, I mean, see how these things are running along the hill, so the water goes downhill and it hits it and hits it and hits it and hits it before it washes away and goes and disappears. And so this guy, Jeff Luton, here's some basic thing. The water comes, it gets stuck in the swale in the basin, holds it, so you can plant stuff on there, and the water soaks into the ground instead of going away, and it makes everything around it much more rewarding to grow stuff in. And so that study and that idea, if you look up Jeff Luton and how he's doing it, he turns the craziest dry nothing deserts into a garden, and by doing that, his idea is he can change the world. So you could take a property like this, it's got a wash through it that doesn't hardly ever flow. Most of the time you drive right through there, no problem, no water. But every now and then water comes down here, and if you stopped it up and you dug this thing up and built, dug one side, piled it up on the other, or some of the ways he does it is he does like the Swiss style, I forget what it's called, but you take wires and make a box and fill it with rocks. You might be able to pull rocks out of the alluvial of a stream like this, and a gabion, and that gabion will slow the water down enough without getting washed away usually to put water into the soil and make this the greenest part of the area, right? So you've got that going through the property, and that's a great place to go permaculture on and make it into something. So this property is on a street, it's got permaculture stuff written all over it, and the little streets go up. The straightest route, you could take some of these little trails, and I was following them, and it's like Craig can't, I forget the name, but the trail goes north, dirt road goes right up to Lake Mead. It goes through some of the washes, sneaks around, and goes in there. There's not a proper boat launch, but it looks like a great place to park and go swimming and go kayaking and that kind of stuff in the water. I don't know if you'd be able to, if you had the right truck and equipment and stuff, launch a boat in here or not. Maybe small boats or little ones, but then you can go drive the boat all over Lake Mead. To get a proper boat into the water, you probably have to go around I was looking that up on one of these maps, and now I don't have it pulled up, but there's a boat launch over here called South Cove, and if we do, you kind of have to do a boomerang route to get there. Go around some of the mountains, go around this mountain here, but go down and around. It's 35-minute. Wow, that's not going to the boat launch. I wanted South Cove. It's more than 35 minutes. South Cove boat launch. Let's see if this finds it. They didn't find it, but it's like a 45-minute drive. It comes around the mountain and comes back up, and it goes to the South Cove boat launch. And if we come into the South Cove boat launch over here, there's a big parking lot. You can fit lots of trailers, and there's this massive boat launch. Looks like you could park on the boat launch, as long as the water table's down far enough. They just keep moving the dock up and down depending on the water table of the lake. And it looks like whenever this picture was taken, someone was launching their boat. So you take your car, truck, whatever, launch your boat, tie it up to the dock, go park the sucker, and go spend the day on the lake. And you're like 45 minutes away from your property. It's really hard to get property right on Lake Mead. You can't really get it right on Lake Mead. It's all government property right around it, so you got to hop over the government property to get to the private property. And when you do that, a lot of it's more expensive. But if you go around the corner like this one, it gets nice and cheap. So that's the property, asking $3,000, and the actual owner of this one is Gerald Daglish, and Jerry's email, jerry@ruralvacantland.com, and his phone number is 760-279-3242, or use this inquire thing and say, hey, I'd like to offer you payments, or I want to buy it. But if you want to just actually buy the thing, click on the buy now and check out with it. Put your information in here, click, and say next. Okay, I accept it, and it's your land. You got it, and you don't have to ask them if it's still for sale or anything. You just buy it. As soon as someone else buys it, then the checkout link won't work anymore, and you can't buy it anymore. It'll say sold. Right now it says for sale, and it's still ready to go, and the land's just sitting there waiting for you to go use it. So hopefully that's the right property for you, and feel free to go take a tour and buy the thing online if you like it. Thank you.